Hey everybody, welcome back, and I would like to say, first of all, thank you to everyone who is watching these videos and giving me feedback. It's been really cool, it's been really great. This community of illustration is just so giving and very nice. I just want to thank you guys personally. And I'm just so grateful that people even watch my work and are interested in illustration and learning more. That's just so cool to see and to hear. Want to address a few questions from you guys about the thumbnail video. I am going to address the questions. I'm going to also apologize for some things. So, first of all, I want to talk about these are my personal way of working, and so I don't want to have anyone under the impression that this is how you should work. Everyone is different, and everyone's going to work differently. And also I don't want to say that I never make a mistake for even my own process, because I do, and I think I did a bit of that last video. So about the thumbnails, question was raised by an audience member, Katie. She asked, she's a college student. She asked, if someone's telling her, a teacher or a professor is telling her that she should spend more time on fleshing out an idea, fleshing out thumbnails and ideas, should she do that, or should she, like me, just go with the first initial thought, like what I was saying? And it caused me to think about what I said and what I did last time. And I have to say that I don't actually know. Last time I said that I just kind of throw down what I initially think and stuff, and I just run with it. Well, that sometimes works, but it is rare. Last time I had that image there. I was like, I really like this, but thinking back on it, I didn't. I'm not gonna go with that one. I'm reworking stuff, and I'm gonna go with something different. So it was a little misleading, and I apologize for that. But I think, so I think you really should obviously go with your first impression for the first thumbnail. But there's always reworking, and that is good. You should do as many as it takes to get where you want to go, and where other people are also saying this is a good place to go. If you're not as experienced, I am a little more experienced than some, of course, not as good as most, but take that into effect too. This is a semi-professional talking, and if you are in school, then you should take the advice of your professors, who are, in a sense, professional teachers, but also professional artists. Like I said, I am not going with that initial thumbnail. I have started to think more about Samwise Gamgee, and I kind of want to do a little more of a portrait piece for him, get things going. I really like the part in the film and in the book where he's talking about Gandalf, and he says this poem. I had it in my book here, closed shut. Okay, so he's reciting this poem that he kind of thought of and made up when he saw Gandalf's fireworks. He says, "The finest rockets ever seen, they burst in stars of blue and green, or after thunder, golden showers, came falling like a rain of flowers. Um, and Sam's not typically like supposed to be this scholar or learned, but he is. He takes an invested interest in stories and also in writing from Bilbo. And he's got a lot of heart, got a lot of character, and he's not just a bumbling hobbit. So I really like that show of vulnerability and creativity that he had. And so thinking about that, I kind of wanted to go back to the point where Sam was inspired by Gandalf's fireworks. And I first had this close-up, let's see if you can see it, close-up portrait of him. And I liked it. I really liked the feeling of him and his sock hat that he wears and is described in the book, and then the sort of pattern of fireworks behind him. I thought it was good. I thought it was nice, but I do want to make these bigger, and so I think I can afford a little more room. So I kind of wanted to make him fill up the frame a little bit more, or put him in the distance a little bit more. So there's more scenery, there's more stuff going on, and I think I can afford that because it's a bigger canvas. So working out his kind of proportions there, a little more of a thumbnail. So I am reiterating. I am doing more. So I finally got to, I think this is probably better than even what I'm doing right now. This one, where he's kind of standing and is in awe of the fireworks, even though fireworks are behind him. They're kind of all around. You get the picture. It's happening around there. And these will be hobbits. You can't really tell who these are, but they're hobbits, and they're all in the same place, of the same nature, but they're all eating and they're all laughing and talking and stuff. And I thought that was such a nice image because they're not at all as enthralled with the fireworks as Sam. And I just think that's a really nice moment. In the story, and also in just the applicableness of that to common, circumstances that we're in. And I think everyone can sort of remember that time where you're in a place, you're in the forest, or you're in even a city, and there's so many people rushing around. There's so many things happening. Even in class, where students are around you, but they don't grasp the level of beauty that's happening all around them. And so I think that's a really common theme. I think it's a cool way to go for Sam. And so I want to do that with this next piece. And we'll see how it turns out. I'm holding off on doing it because I don't have any more of that rough paper. I really would like to keep with that look for this series. I may actually even go back and redo Frodo with that rougher paper, but we'll see. So wanted to address that question, and also a little further. She asks, do you take a break from the idea and come back another day, or just keep drawing until something else pops up? Both are good ideas, and you really need to know yourself. When you're struggling with an idea or with an image, you really need to know what's going to spark your creativity, and also what's going to make you work harder. Things just don't flow naturally all the time. It's great when they do, but you do need to put in effort to really bash out ideas, really work from all angles. One really practical way of continuing thumbnails is to think about where the camera is. is it below him? Right here, it's kind of below him. You're seeing him against the sky, against the party tree here. Another way of doing it would be, I'll just go with this here. Drawing him, you looking down as if you're a firework or something, and well, foreshortening there. This is gonna be rough. This is not something I've drawn before. So this is gonna be rough, but and then all these other hobbits eating around him, and him looking up. Hobbits, the grass. That's an interesting way. That's a different angle. That's rough. All right, so just play with your angles. Play with your angles of like what a camera would be. If you're behind him, show his shoulders, looking around. A little closer. These are all very portrait-like, so so they're pretty simple. You're dealing with subject matter. There's one subject and his reaction to other things. This can get a little more complicated as you're having a lot of other people in this too. This is good for me to develop more options for this piece. Are the hobbits in the foreground going to be really big? They're eating. Here they are. They're going to overlap him. He's not very overlapped here, but maybe it'd be more realistic for him to be overlapped and to have a lot more stuff going on. It's definitely a good possibility. I don't know that that's going to capture the fireworks much. So may not go with that, but it's great. It sparks your imagination for other pieces. So right now it's kind of warmed my hand up. Maybe I'll go into thinking about a landscape view of the Shire, of Gandalf riding on his little pony trap here. Very Grant Wood. You get very, very Grant Wood, which is not a bad thing. I love Grant Wood. Really sweet American painter. Don't really have any more ideas for Sam, but that's just because I'm probably not thinking about him. Yeah, so definitely, please reiterate your stuff. Keep going. Push through hard times of creativity. Just bounce around from ideas. The important thing is don't let yourself stop drawing. You can go from one to the other, another image to another image. And that's not a bad thing. I will say though, breaks can be very helpful as well. Know yourself. Know when you actually need a break, or when you're kind of BSing yourself. You're kind of like, I think I need a break. When you're actually not actually trying very hard. Like you need to try hard. And if you've tried hard, be honest with yourself and say, I need a break. I gotta go take a break. It's gonna help. It's in service of the piece that I take a break. Be honest with yourself. We know ourselves. I think it's never a problem to identify the wrong in our life, in our attitudes, or the right direction. I think it's not necessarily very hard to do that. I think the hardest thing is accepting it and going for it, going for the right thing. Because we want what we want, and we'll do everything that we can to get what we want. So we need to want right things. We need to want to work. We need to want to complete this painting, this painting, and to make it the best. We have to be unsatisfied with unsatisfactory work. I have to be completely motivated to get the best image that I can make, because it is very important to get the best work in a thumbnail before investing in a week of painting. I was looking through a Greg, the Hildebrandt brothers Lord of the Rings years book, and came over this painting of Eowyn on a deathbed in a way, and after she was wounded, and I'll show you, it's right here. It's so beautiful, such wonderful feel to it. The light, the care around her from Gandalf and the others, and it's definitely a piece I want to kind of do my way. Probably with just her and Faramir, because I think that's such a nice love story, and would love to have that a little more intimate, without Grandpa Gandalf here and the brother. That's not cool. Definitely want to try that. I'm really excited to try that, and I may actually jump way ahead of the story to do that. But I may also just stick with where I am at in the book, reading it and listening to it, because I think there's something to be said for that. Bringing your true feelings at that time to the table, to the drawing. But you can always do thumbnails. Just think about it, because time is helpful. Like having a break, time is helpful. Step away from it, think about it, come back to it, even for like a month or something. It's always in your head. It can always be redeemed later. Putting the footwork in now will help you think about it and mull it over, come up with a better solution, or continue on with that one. Think about putting value in your sketches when you're doing thumbnails. Draw it out, get the shapes the way you want them, but think about the mood, and where the light will be, where the darkest darks will be, where the secondary darks will be, and that will give you the clarity that you need to execute the piece. Because I had the hardest time with, and I still don't have the best time with it, but I like to have pieces that a lot of stuff's happening in it, a lot of stuff's going on, but you really need to think about simplicity, focusing it in one place where your viewers will be able to rest, but they can also pick up nice little things around the edges and around the rest of the painting, but something that's gonna really take your eye in, like a light spot will. other questions? People want to see my setup. I will show you. I'll show you my setup right here. I'm gonna bring the camera. I obviously can't show where the camera is, but I'll show you what it's resting on. I don't have a. You'll see what I have. I don't have a tripod. I have this sort of mirror that is like telescoping, not telescoping, but it's got this cool mechanism. Pulls out from IKEA. It's like $7. I didn't actually think it would be useful for that, but it's really cool. It can swivel, and I can put it over my piece wherever I want it. And this is it. You know, I have 2 computers. Well, 1 computer, another monitor, and that's super helpful. Intuos Pro. It's very nice. I use a Cintiq. I have used a Cintiq. I didn't necessarily love it, and it's not. I don't think I would invest in it, especially when I'm thinking about doing more traditional work. But I can see the uses of it for sure for like especially like comics or that kind of thing, or drawing all the time. So anyway, this is a 20-minute video here, probably my longest, and I probably will post it because I'm identifying why I want to make these videos, and I want to make these videos for people who are drawing and who are learning and doing and practicing. So I personally like videos that ramble on and on, because I can just flip them on and then just work myself. So if you're that person, these are made for you. I hope they're helpful. I still would love feedback. You know, I'm not saying forget everyone who has good ideas and wants these to be concise. I still would love feedback. I would love questions. And I will definitely answer some more questions next time. But I feel like I should cut right now just to get a little more work done, think a little bit more. But I appreciate you guys, and thanks for tuning in.